bowler quick enough, to rattle the batter with the short ball.
What's he going to bowl now, though? Because all his support's on the onside. He's got long on, deep mid-wicket, deep square. Now, long off is going out. So fine leg is in.
He's got the license to bowl a Yorker on off stump. He can bowl the real slow, short delivery, because if he holds it quick, that's going to go into the stands, and the fielders inside the ground wouldn't matter.
And he finishes with 12 of that over, like he did in the previous one. 226 for 5.
Dang it, Don, I said deeper! My thumbs are killing me! Why don't you just try the new Trip Wheel XR for extreme relief? Oh, my goodness, this feels so good! When muscles are either too tired, tight, or weak, they form little muscle knots or trigger points, and they hurt. Chirp's developed 3 new wheels with unique textures to replicate the best-in-class deep tissue massage.
I think India might just have played their hand a little too early. The moment Bumrah finished bowling the 41st, the signal to the players batted out was clear. The next 5 overs have to be Jadeja and Shardul, and that's the way it's been. The last 3 overs have been a touch expensive. 34, I think, in the last 3 overs or thereabouts. Jadeja with his last one for 47. You mentioned South Africa and New Zealand. I think they come from contrasting places to the World Cup. I think New Zealand with Williamson maybe not available for the earlier part. They're just going through a little dip at the moment. Tim Southee is under cloud as well. Whereas I was very, very hopeful of South Africa. I just wonder if the injury to Nortje takes away a wicket-taking bowler in between.
It does a bit. I actually tipped before I came over here that South Africa would make the semi-finals because they've got 2 good spinners, Shamsi and Maharaj. They've got a really deep batting lineup with players in form. There's that single again. You've got Quinton de Kock, Bavuma, Henrik Klaasen, Markram, Vasudhusan, Miller, Marco Janssen's handy with the bat. So they've actually got a really good side and most bases covered.
Also another thing that's changed from the last 2 World Cup, which was held in India 2011, to this one. India no more has that distinct home advantage. A lot of these foreign teams have a lot of their players playing a lot in India. They have a South African team, and you see the top players have had enough exposure to India, Indian culture, Indian conditions, pitches. New Zealand too. In fact, the team that you mentioned, say, I find Pakistan after the Asia Cup experience not to be in the same league as South Africa, New Zealand, especially with a couple of their fast bowlers down.
It's interesting you mentioned culturally aware as well, and the camera moved to David Warner, who does music videos to Telugu music. Yeah, I just wondered at one point whether it was more David Warner of Hyderabad and less David Warner of Sydney. Good start to the over, just 3 so far. Is that the shot Mark Waugh was looking for? No, still the single. Remember, Ishan Kishan is right on the boundary there. Just 4 of the over. 230 for 5, Jadeja bowls out.
यार तुम हमेशा अपना भुजिया इतना जल्दी कैसे खत्म करते हो?
तुम कभी शेयर क्यों नहीं करती हो?
किया तो था दिल्ली में मार्च 2012.
सीरियसली 2012 मार्च?
उनके दिमाग में खलल लगा. अच्छा ले लो. वैसे मानना पड़ेगा, आज मैंने तुम्हें अमेरिका में दिल्ली वाली फील दी थी, है ना?
परसों से प्यार जताने का तरीका हल्दीराम्स.
Well, that's South Africa. That top 6 for South Africa is as good as any, and number 7 is excellent too in recent times. Marco Jansen, proper all-rounder. Bavuma, Quinton de Kock, David Miller, Klaasen, Markram and Rassie van der Dusen. It's a very good top 6. Then Marco Jansen at 7. Now comes the issue thereafter. Is Gerald Coetzee good enough to be lead bowler to replace Nortje? Can Lugi Ngidi play that role?
Well, it's a hard spot to cover with equally as good a player as Nortje, because he's an outstanding bowler, bowls quick, got experience in India. So I think the short answer to your question is whoever replaces him is not going to be as good as him. But, you know, are they going to be good enough to do a role? I think they're a sneaky chance of getting a long way in the tournament for sure.
Also, obviously, we didn't spend too much time looking at the batting. We didn't talk about Bavuma, who has become a very interesting player, who suddenly out of the blue plays a blinder of an innings and has a huge impact on the game. The other batter there is Klaasen, the obvious name. I mean, 4 years back, Heinrich Klaasen was the force in 50 years cricket with the bat. Played a couple of good innings against India, but today's Klaasen is in a different league, and that makes South African batting along with David Miller there on small grounds a super dangerous batting side.
Well, their biggest problem in big tournaments has been belief, you know, having the belief that you're good enough to win it. So yeah, it's a lot different group of players, and whether they've got the belief there, if they do have it, then I think, you know, they're going to be a big threat.
Oh, opened his shoulders. That is a stunning shot. Wow, that is some shot. Just came out of the blue. I was about to say, look, maybe they don't quite trust Shardul. He's brought Bumrah back to keep a hold on proceedings. Just look at this shot.
Oh, that is a beautiful shot. He's hit that so cleanly. That is a hard shot to play on this pitch. It's not bouncing much. He just got it wrong, Bumrah. He got it right in the slot, didn't he? It was a nice little juicy half volley, but that's a hell of a shot to hit it so powerful through that area of the ground.
Picture of the partnership with 35 balls. Square leg comes inside the circle. Man on the boundary drops to fine leg. Then the little inside edge. Oh, don't run. He gathered it.
A little change of pace there from Bumrah. You just can't get too predictable at this stage of the innings. Nice off cutter, off break. He's hit the ball cleanly, Josh Inglis. He's 42 off 39. He just struggled early in his innings where he just couldn't quite find the gaps, but he's a dangerous player, can hit to all parts of the ground. He's got all the fancy shots as well as the power. You know, he can play the scoop shots.
He's always worth a comeback. Bumrah hit him for 6. He'll come back on the next 2 balls. He's produced 2 dot balls.
This is his 9th over, so Bumrah has passed that test in a way, but we're looking at this partnership. I've seen 2 or 3 stunning shots in this partnership. Not much before that. There was run accumulation, but we've seen some eye-catching shots in this partnership, both from Stoinis and Inglis.
They'll take one for the throw and make it quite easily. Wasn't exactly going to hurt KL Rahul's palms. Wasn't coming back strongly enough.
He had a good look at Pakistan as well. Their 50 overs team, I know Naseem Shah and Haris Rao were injured towards the end of the tournament, but good chance they'll come fit for the World Cup. Their obvious worry or box to be ticked is the batting. Lots of dependence on Babar Azam and Rizwan. I know Imamul Haq has got the numbers. A couple of young batters that played in the last game, somebody that could maybe back spin is going to be an issue. Shadab Khan doesn't look like a 50 overs bowler. Mohammad Nawaz, limited left arm spinner. I mean, the other teams on paper, it was before the World Cup, stronger. 238 for 5.
Alex Carey won't be wearing that bit for too long. But Josh Inglis has suggested in this game that should there be an issue with Alex Carey, they've got a very good replacement. A brilliant shot. He's played a lot of these innings in 20 overs cricket.
He plays all around the ground, just such quick hands, and presented a beautiful bat face, hit it cleanly. Dangerous player, hard to bowl to.
Sanjay talked about Pakistan's batting. There's a very impressive young player in that team, and I think they might have stumbled onto their best opening combination out of injury, and they thrust Abdullah Shafiq in there, and he looks a cut above the rest.
I'm sorry, Naseem Shah has gone for the World Cup, I thought.
Yeah, no, he's gone. Yeah.
Announced the 11 with they've gone back to Hassan Ali. He was very impressed with Zaman Khan, but apparently doesn't quite have the experience.
I think Pakistan have to be a little more aggressive with the bat up front, and a bit more aggressive with their tactics as well with the ball. They can't just let the game meander and just do it the way they've always done it. You've got to have just a little bit of X factor about you.
Beautiful shot. Sometimes you look at the shot and say, was it predetermined? But it doesn't matter. He's backed himself to play the shot.
Well, it has to be predetermined to play that shot like that. That's what you've got to do then, is watch the ball closely if it's not quite where you want it. But it ended up just not quite a Yorker. It wasn't far off, but Marcus Stoinis has watched it so closely and just used the pace. So it's some excellent batting in the last 4 or 5 overs here from this partnership.
Yeah, this is a bit like T20 cricket, so right down their lane for these two batters who bat down the order, because Stoinis does in IPL cricket. Now, we'll be anticipating the length. What is Shami going to bowl?
Such power. Such power. That is what Stoinis is about. And I think Stoinis will be aware, through all the cricket he's played in India, that bowling at the top of the order is Shami's strength. At the bottom, not quite the same.
But this is some shot. And again, it shows the thinking of the batter. He's done nothing. He's just stood still. And he's kept an open mind. There's no premeditation like the ball before. What a shot that was.
It was a great shot. A bit of a nothing ball, though, from Shami. It was just a hit-me length, wasn't it? Not short or not full. I'd rather see him try another Yorker than just, bowl one there